Welcome back everyone to Pontus Fathom Hobbies. This is our part one of the paint through video for the Conan by Monolith King's Pledge Kickstarter. So we've already done a Conan main box set paint through video, and we've also actually done a Conan by Monolith miniature makeover for that original paint through. I've come into this Kickstarter King's Pledge with a whole bunch of new minis, so I'm deciding to do a full paint through of all of these. This King's Kickstarter was a real cool one at the time. It's got the Hyborian map here. It's got a number of additional components and lots of alternate versions of Conan's. It's got mummies and skeleton warriors. It's got picked hammer-wielding warriors, picked archers, additional villain leaders, and savage billet, and then a number of things like some components that you can use, like tables and chairs and gates, torch stands, things like that. So lots of cool minis to paint, and some massive monsters like the giant Thang and some of the tentacle creatures that are there that go in the King's Kickstarter. There's also additional heroes that are there. There's a Thog as well. So we're going to get through all of these. I broke it into two parts because there's quite a lot to paint through here. So what we're going to start out with is getting all the miniatures out on the tabletop, get them ready to do a Zenithal Prime. And you can see here you got that pile of skulls and just a massive amount of minis. So it's everything that was in the original Conan by Monolith box set, and then there's a second box that was the King's Pledge. So this is really a fantastic build. It's amazing to think that this Kickstarter goes all the way back to 2015. This was released in 2016. I'm just picking it up here in 2024. And special thanks out to Harold in Norway for shipping this all the way out to me. Lots of great thing. And Board Game Geek, guys, if you find buyers and sellers out there, definitely support the selling community on Board Game Geek. This is a great resource for collecting old games. So we're going to get into the Zenithal priming of these, get them primed, and get into painting them. Yeah, so just fast forwarding through getting all of these on the board to give them I'm going to give them a flat black prime. I've got two boards here. I think I end up going 2 or 3 rounds of this. I think there's over 200 miniatures here, so it's quite a few miniatures to work through. That's just with the main box set. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the King's Pledge box set. So quite a few minis here to get primed. And what I will do is I will go ahead and do the black prime on most of them. Some of them I'll give a Zenithal prime. And you can see here, there's the main Conan mini without any, without priming or anything. Just kind of take a look at it. Just spot checking through some of these. You've got another Conan alternative with a great axe. So there's about 5 Conans, I think, in this set. So it's cool. You can get Conan from different eras of his career. But the sculpt is real nice on this one. There's another one, Conan, the kind of the warrior. And we got Civitas, always a favorite from the play. If you're a fan of Conan by Monolith, we have a tabletop board game. Here's Kestrel Kell, and some of the new minis here from the King's Pledge, Belit, and Savage Billet. I like this mini. This is gonna be great. So that if you go and check out our channel, there are gameplays. I think we're almost into 20 seasons almost of Conan. Maybe 15, 16 seasons by the time you guys watch this. So, go check out the gameplay. We've played through lots of the main box set. We've also played through Kite box set, and also some of the alternate and fan-made Conan gameplay out there. So let's get these out to be sprayed. I'm just going to hit these with a flat black prime. Just going to rotate them around, make sure I get them on all sides, and then also make sure I underspray them as well. Kind of fast forward through this. And then once we got good coverage on these, we're going to get them into the tabletop and start our base coat painting. Getting these off the board, you can see it's just a massive amount of minis. I definitely have to break this out into two tries. So I'm going to start out with flesh tone and just work through basically all the flesh tone, just like we do in the other batch painting. I'm going to start with all the flesh tones across all of them. I do cheat a bit, and I've got a flesh tone spray that I'll use on some of the minis. So I actually sprayed some minis like the pirates and the picks. You can actually see them in the background there. I actually just sprayed them all flesh tone because they're mostly just wearing, they're mostly flesh tone, and then there's just going to be some small garments or some highlights that we can hit. For these other minis, I'm going to go and brush on just a Tamaya flesh and get these guys all painted. And then I'll also paint Civitas, the Billets Guard. We'll also do that with just Tamaya brown. So we're just going to do basic flesh tones for the different sort of humans that are here, and then we'll get to it. And then a quick flyer over these. You can see some of the ones that I've sprayed here. They're quite comprehensive. Some of the pirates and these picks, just hit them with a massive spray because, and I also did the mummies in flesh, and I'll kind of reverse engineer that. I'll probably hit these all with washes and then hit the details like swords and clothing and the hair. I've also zenithal primed a lot of the King's Pledge heroes and villains, so I didn't get that on camera, but you can see these are all zenithal primed. So I had spritzed these with 45 degrees with a white flat prime. Really brings out the details. A lot of these are black or evil looking characters, or guys that are either in armor or something like this, and I'll use that zenithal prime to show those highlights and keep the black undertones. So now you can see our zenithal prime guys are on the table, along with our first batch base coats of flesh tone, and we'll get onto the next colors. For the picks, I had done like a zenithal flesh tone prime. I wanted to try to capture but I under sprayed them. So I'm going to go back and highlight these picks with some more flesh tone, just to kind of give them more coverage. Just a second coat, I guess, but I want to make sure that they have full coverage on these. I will leave some of the black shadows through, just thin the paint enough so that that'll come through. And then I will hit all of these with washes once they dry. We've got all the flesh tones applied. We've got zenithal prime on all of the other ones, and we're going to go into the next palette of colors by each different unit type. Civitas is next. I'm got Civitas, getting him painted up. He always looks great because he's got the gold. I think Kestrel Kel, Civitas, the main Conan mini. Those are one of my favorites from the original set. So I'm going to kind of do a similar paint to these this time, but I want to try to upscale the painting a little bit of this. So I'm going to take a little bit more time on the heroes, and that's why I'm breaking this video out into two parts. I want to make sure that we really get the details nice on these, and Civitas is such a cool character too, so I'm looking forward to that. Just fast forwarding here through all the other minis that'll use this flesh tone brown. like a Blitz Guards, a couple of other heroes that have come across from this, and then we're going to move on to the next colors. I started using the basic, I got the flesh tones done. I started using basic colors on some of the minis. So I've got the Bosonian Guards in red, green, and blue, just a quick coat on those. And then kind of looking across, there's a lot of red cloaks. And I found places to use the reds, like pirate vests, pirate pantaloons, Conan, alternate Conan figures, capes, some of the additional figures like dresses or scarves that could be red, and I just kind of try to use the red up. Basically, I'll just fill that little cap of red, and I'll kind of paint through to use up the paint across all the minis. And then if I run out of ideas on who to paint what color, I'll kind of move on to the next topic. But at this point in the game, I think from a batch point of view, you do have to start focusing on the groups. So I got Bosonian Guards, that's a certain set of colors. Obviously, can go across, as we're doing now with the, you can go across all the metallics. Here I'm painting bases just to kind of clean up the bases, but metallics will be across all of the minis, whether that's helmets, swords, a number of things here. So now you can see a pirate looking kind of finished. I'm hitting some khakis here. Pirate is getting a good full base coat here. I've also got a wash on him. Bosonian Guards are coming together. I've got the axes and the helms with some. I got this one called Silver Chrome. I used another metallic silver before, but this one's silver chrome. Thought it had a little bit more of a metallic sheen to it. I kind of like it. I think one of the challenges for the batch paints too is to have your references in mind at least. Like for example, I don't know what color palettes to use on this Savage Billet, and I don't want to mess it up. This is such a cool mini, so I'm kind of deferring it. I painted the swords, I painted some flesh, I've given her a wash, and then I put her back down until I have the idea. And then I actually spent some time going and collecting. Hey, what's my reference material I want to use for each of these figures. I think you've got to do some planning if you're going to do a full batch, but I think I'm kind of forking now in the process. I'm probably a good day into this painting. I'm going more towards group specific. What can I do next for the mummies? What can I do next for the soldiers? For example, for the soldiers, I'm coming up with the idea, the skeleton soldiers, I'm coming up with the idea of an eruginous green with some kind of rusty color on all of the metallics. So this will make their weaponry look kind of rusted and like from the crypt. So I've got that concept that I'll prepare the palettes for. Again, same with the pirates, the combos. I've got the green vests here, and then I'll use green somewhere else. But you can see those skeletons with that rusted green color. I've also started hitting some of these wooden pieces, whether it's the Bosonian Guard spears, the Blitz Guard spears, the bows for the Bosonian archers, or even the bows for the picked archers. So all of those wooden components, I'll hit all of those at once. So, battle axe handles, things like that. Here you can see one of those rusted skeletons that's coming together nicely. You've got the eruginous green, that kind of rusty copper, Statue of Liberty green, and then some rust spots on it with copper. The washes on the mummies really make them pop. And now you can do it in layers. I think, again, just thinking of using your browns, there's so many different browns to use. You have to kind of customize it for your minis. Like, for example, the Bosonian Guards have lots of leather on them. Kind of haven't gotten to that yet, so that'll come in some finishing in maybe part 2. That's about going to wrap it up for our part 1 video. I've still got lots of monsters that I haven't touched, lots of heroes I've barely touched, but we're getting a good step of the way toward getting paint on these minis and getting them tabletop ready. Guys, if you like what you're doing here, check out the bookstore link below. You can check out our bookstores, helps us support the channel. You can also check out our Patreon. I'll leave you with the flyover of the minis as they stand now. And by all means, like, subscribe, leave your comments below, ring the bell, and you can get notified when there's part 2 comes out. And also go check out Miniature Makeovers and check out our Conan by Monolith gameplay. I think there's something that you'll enjoy out there. So thanks a lot for everyone who are watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.